Cobb family has a family plot here. The Cobb family was well known throughout the country for portrait photography. They had a studio down on Central and Gold, I believe it was. And one of my relatives, Alabama Milner, mentored under the Cobb family, and she then broke off and started her own studio. But if you go to the Albuquerque Museum, they have archived photographs of the Cobb pictures. As I said, they specialize in portrait photography. And you'll also see a lot of their photography on the walls. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful photography. So I welcome you all to go there and see and enjoy our history. Our next speaker is Lucy Sanchez Silva.
October 22nd, 2021 marked 3 years since the death of my father, Jesse Jesus Silva. I'm inviting his spirit to be with us tonight by a simple prayer that he used to say each morning. Make me aware of your presence in others. This story begins with an unexpected but peaceful death of my mother. When my family gathered for her funeral, a main concern was my dad's future. They had been married over 60 years, and my dad had often repeated a saying from his own father, "I hope I die before her because I don't think I can live without her." When gathered for her memorial service, my dad let us know that he wanted and intended to stay in their home. We eyed each other dumbfounded, trying to imagine how that might be possible. Although Daddy appeared to be healthy for a 93-year-old man, we did not feel comfortable leaving him to live alone. His children lived across the country. The closest was my youngest sister at 60 miles away, working full-time with 4 active children. Meanwhile, I was going through a transition of my own, including a divorce and home sale. I told my siblings I would consider moving to live with my dad, thinking he and I might be able to assist each other through this recovery time. I applied for a leave from my job as a trial period for both of us. During this time, my dad let me know he intended to continue his regular routine: a bowl of fruit for breakfast, morning walk around the neighborhood, a glass of heart medicine, red wine, at noon with the main meal. I would plan and cook, and he would clean up, followed by a nap. Afternoons would include another neighborhood walk, then bird watching or gardening. Evenings were planned in front of the TV for the national and local news, followed by sports with the Texas Rangers and San Antonio Spurs the main attractions. This would be accompanied by his cracking pecans, eating a snack, and drinking his fiber, which was a can of beer. This trial time went quickly, and we discovered we were compatible roommates, so I officially made the move to begin my life as a companion caregiver. As our time together became smoother, I discovered that my dad was self-sufficient in many ways, and I was able to work part-time, provided I could join him to share heart medicine and the midday meal, along with being home in the evenings. We kept in touch with neighbors and relatives, together and separately, and were visited and assisted by Texas siblings regularly. He was an avid cribbage player, and he was occasionally caught raiding the cookie jar to satisfy his notorious sweet tooth. Born in Aguascalientes, Mexico, my dad crossed the border with his family as migrant field workers at the age of 9. When his family settled in Michigan, he continued to work the sugar beet fields with them. He was drafted into World War II, awarded a Purple Heart, and he earned his U.S. citizenship through his military service. He raised his own family in Midland, Michigan, where he worked as a plant security officer for the Dow Chemical Company for 30 years. Earning a high school diploma after 4 years of night school. The same year he took early retirement. As Daddy aged, I realized that my idea that I would be staying till the end was nowhere in sight. Although he had declined in health, his mind and spirit were relatively strong. I was able to celebrate his 100th birthday with him, though his dementia at that time had him occasionally asking me, "Who are your parents?" When I returned to the desert Southwest, he was lovingly cared for by others in his own home, and then moved to assisted living when this home arrangement no longer was appropriate. As he became more physically frail, he retained his gentle, generous spirit, an open heart, sense of humor, and sweet tooth. He passed peacefully at the age of 102. As I walk around my own neighborhood now, I hear him asking dog walkers, "Who's walking who?" And when I find coins, I thank him for sending the same message he would frequently find on his walks. I have tried to live up to his practice of welcoming all. Mi casa es su casa. And I realize gratefully that caring for him was the hardest job I ever loved. I'd like to think he was embraced at his passing by the God he believed in, by his family of origin, and my mother, and that he got a good laugh at the offerings of heart medicine and pan dulce upon his arrival.
Thank you to these companies and organizations that make the Before I Die New Mexico Festival possible. A good goodbye. Gail Rubin puts the fun in funeral planning. Compassion and choices, improving care, expanding options, and empowering everyone to chart their end-of-life journey. Daniel's Family Funerals and Cremations, Fairview Memorial Park, Gabaldon Mortuary, Sandia Memory Gardens, and Vista Verde Memorial Park, all in the Albuquerque area. Estate Pros, offering professional dispersal of personal possessions due to a move, illness, or death. The Final Exit Network, educating about and defending the right to choose at end of life. French Funerals and Cremations and Sunset Memorial Park in Albuquerque. Gathering Us, providing in-person and virtual memorial services and online memorial pages. Keeper, providing hybrid and virtual memorial services and keeping memories alive with online tributes to preserve, celebrate, and share life legacies. Morris Hall, estate planning attorneys in New Mexico and Arizona. Remembering a Life, your guide to honoring a life well lived, from planning a tribute to mourning a loved one. And Retirement Extender, investment management services with a personalized strategy recommendation based on your needs and objectives.